Hello friends, this is Tina here from Under 3 Acres. It's been raining for like 2.5 days straight, so I thought I'm gonna do a big canning day, food prep, just doing things around the house because I'm trying to avoid cleaning and just getting more food on the pantry. I've been soaking some beans here. I've been soaking some beans all night. I've got to get my jars up from the basement. I'm gonna have a little bit of breakfast and then we're gonna get right down to it. I'm big enough, I've got a helper boy. We're gonna try to get it all done. It's raining outside, so normally when I do a big canning day, everybody's outside playing. Wow. And now everybody's inside, right? So I got the dishwasher running. I've got my beans just came to a boil, so I'm gonna drain those off. The first thing I'm making today is chicken enchilada soup. Does that sound good?
No, it doesn't.
No,
it tastes weird.
It tastes weird. Well, that's because you're two, okay? This recipe actually calls for corn, but since we are making this grain-free so that it can accommodate most of my children, I am using carrots in place of corn. So if you notice, I'm not cutting these very thin as you would for a regular soup. They're going to be pressure canned for 90 minutes and I don't want them to turn to complete mush. So I'm making them like a rustic carrot here. The other night we roasted a chicken for dinner and I just put the carcass and some vegetables in here and made some broth. I knew I was going to be making this recipe and I needed some shredded cooked chicken, so I made 2 chickens instead of 1. And so I'm just gonna grab some broth. Just try to strain it out the best I can. I just need 3 cups of this. Every time we roast chicken or cook chicken in the slow cooker, we make broth out of the rest, and this recipe makes 5 jars. I can put 7 jars in my pressure canner, so I will take the rest of the broth and can this up so that I'm not just using half a canner full of stuff. I like to fill my canner and make sure I have 7 jars in it every time I run it. And so I'm going to do that by adding broth. I'm just gonna pop this in my pot and then start adding the other ingredients. I'll show you that in a second. So I just added 2 cans of crushed tomatoes. It calls for tomatoes pureed and you can use them from fresh in your garden, and it tells you how many to use, how many pounds, but I'm not getting any tomatoes yet out of my garden, so canned it is. I added the carrots already. I'm just gonna shred up the chicken a little bit smaller. We picked it off the carcass the other day and it's just in bigger chunks, so I just want to make sure everybody gets some chicken. Got my chicken in. It's a pound of chicken. And I'm just going to add all the spices, tablespoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of cumin. Oh wait, that's only supposed to be 1. Oops. I put in too much cumin. Oh well, don't tell anybody. I'm going to add 2 of garlic and 6 of the chili powder. Now, since I'm a mom with little kids, this is gonna be a mild chili powder. If you wanted to add something spicier, go for it, honey. I know mommy bloggers are always accused of having really mild, bland food. Guilty as charged. Okay. I'm just gonna stir this all in and then we're gonna bring it to a boil. And I have to cook it for 5 minutes. And then I'm going to jar it up. I've got my pressure canner ready. I have 3 liters of water in the bottom, or 3 quarts, I think it is. Pretty close to the same thing, but yeah. Got 3 quarts of water in there, and it just needs, everything is gonna be hot. This is gonna be hot, so this needs to be hot. If you are raw packing and it's cold, then this needs to be cold if what you're putting in it is cold. I like making ready-made meals for the family to have on the shelves in case of a power out. It's nice to just be able to pop open a couple of jars and have instant supper. It's fast food around here. It's also nice if I'm you know, making a chili or something like that, and I have beans already made or have something like this, I could just have this as a base to a chili and then just add other meat or whatever I wanted to it. Makes it a lot easier and a lot quicker, especially when we're homeschooling. I can, you know, if we've had a rough day and I don't really want to cook, my other kids don't want to cook, then this is our fast food. Well, I was jarring up the enchilada soup. Sasha gave a quick call from work to see how I was doing. He knows these big canning days are a lot of work. He likes being home for them. He likes to help chop and do dishes and stuff. Isn't that sweet of him? Anyway, I'm gonna fill up the rest of these jars here with broth so I can get my canner up and running. I hope to have it done, that it's almost done by lunchtime, so I can get the second recipe going after lunch and then another one later this afternoon. It always takes a long time for the pressure canning. It's just a long process. I wish I had jumped on the electric pressure canner bandwagon last year and bought myself one when they were affordable. Now they're barely available, and if they are available, they're just way out of price reach. I don't know if you've heard of them. There's one by Nesco and one by, I think it's Presto. And they're really neat because you can just set it and let it do its thing. You don't have to watch it. I have to baby this thing here. I have a Zoom meeting at 11 that I'd like to get to. So I want to get this going so I can make that, and then I will come back and get going with the rest of the stuff. Life goes on. It can be crazy here at times. I've got one kid right now doing stop motion animation. Some other kids are playing nicely in the room. And another one is playing a different computer game. That's what happens. There's more screen time when mom's canning. It's just, it is what it is. Unless it's nice weather, then they're all outside doing things and playing and obviously coming in when there's food to be had. All else fails, we have lots of broth here. It's really good for you. This one I actually did for almost 2 days straight. I was going to do the major canning yesterday. I was just really tired after canning all the jam on Monday, so I took a break and did some editing yesterday, so the next video will be ready for you. You know, by then you'll have hopefully seen it, and I just keep going with these canning videos as long as the weather is disgusting, and keep trying to get more stuff done and more stuff packed away. If you like my videos, I'd really appreciate it if you thumbs the video up and like, subscribe, do all those things, and share if you think this would be helpful for other people, because I just got an email saying that our government here in Canada is going to be pushing through Bill C-11. They just get to vote on amendments. There's been no debate. Basically, that's an internet censorship bill here in Canada, and I don't know if you'll get any of my content after this. Not that I'm, you know, that popular or that my videos get out to very many people at this moment, at the time of recording, but it would be really nice to help people, you know, learn how to do these things, because I've been doing it for a long time and I'd love to share it with people. So if you can, say a prayer that this doesn't go through like it's supposed to. It didn't pass all the normal regular things. It's supposed to go through the House of Commons, then through the Senate, and it's supposed to be given due process. And because it's almost summer, they just want to push it through. I have no idea what their backup agenda is, what they're trying to censor, but they don't want us Canadians producing content that may be against their narrative. So I'd really appreciate it if you'd, you know, subscribe, hit that bell so you get notified when I do make new videos. And then I'll end my rant there. I've got to get this in the canner and get going. So the first batch of jars are out of the canner. It was really loud here, so I didn't have the camera running at all, and we did all the lunch cleanup. And now I've got some meat frying up for supper. we're just gonna try to get a lot of food related things done. I'm going to throw that in the slow cooker. I should have enough time to get it done. That's why I fried up the onions and the peppers as well. I'm just gonna get chili going for supper. It's not the only thing we're doing for supper, so I'm not too concerned that it's not a very big chili today. I knew I was going to be doing a big prep day, so I wanted something that was easy to throw together and quick. And we're going to have some hash browns to go with that. And my daughter and I were just discussing some of the other things we're going to try to get done. We're going to bake some bread. We're going to make some granola while I get the next batch of jars. I've got everything cut up here for the lentil soup that I'm going to be canning next. It's just we cooked a lot from scratch and it took a while for everybody to get their food. We kind of have a bit of a whatever you want to make for lunch. We have bread and stuff for the little kids, and my little guy's so proud he can, you know, take his bread over to the table and stuff. But the bigger kids like to all fry eggs, and sometimes they make a tuna salad or something like that. So everybody kind of cooks their own lunch, and I just step back and let it happen. So I'm just going to throw this together really quick so that I can get back to the canning stuff. My daughter's gonna grind up some hazelnuts to make some flour. Spoon. And yeah, we're gonna just keep on keeping on. Now, it isn't always this much cooking every day. I just try to, I think I mentioned in a recent video, when I'm in the kitchen, then I'm in the kitchen and I do all of the things. I kind of, it's like a sprint or a 5K, I guess, one day of cooking, and then the next few days it's just a walk, you know, get the minimum done. And everybody here from the age of 9 and up can cook, so I barely have to cook everything by myself. I do all of the canning. I sometimes help. My girls like to help peel and do that kind of thing, and they were helping me. They peeled the carrots for me. And it's nice having a big family. It's not always crazy and chaotic, although that is the case a lot of the time, but it is really nice having a lot of kids who like to be in the kitchen with me, and we spend a lot of time here. I probably will turn the camera off at some point so we can listen to an audiobook, because we like to do that too. All right, I gotta get back to work. So you need to be careful when you're making the hazelnut flour that it doesn't turn into hazelnut butter, but my daughter knows what she's doing. She's been doing this for a while. She used to make it in a little, what do you call that, coffee grinder. This is much faster. And then she'll just put it in her bucket. We'll be all good. I think I gotta get back to my lentils. So the lentils have been drained. I'm going to add all of the other vegetables.
I'm eating this.
What are you eating?
Chocolate bits.
Chocolate bits. I mean hazelnut. Thank you. Going to get my water in here. Like the other soup, I have to bring this up to temperature and boil it for 5 minutes. Now I could add broth, but I'm just adding filtered water here because, well, I could go down and get turkey broth, but I'm not. Just using water, and I'm going to use up some of the rest of my veggie bouillon. I made a video on how to make this. I'm wanting to use it up so I can make a new batch. So for every quart, I add a teaspoon. That's a half teaspoon measuring spoon, so I'm gonna need 6 here. For us, this is a really great way to avoid allergens and to have something handy. It would take otherwise 3 of my quart jars of broth, which is fine. I totally am okay with using that. I just didn't want to make more dishes right now. I just need to add some garlic to this. I haven't pressed the garlic yet. And I'm going to add my spices. I already pre-measured my spices and just put them in a ramekin. It's been a bit crazy. It was nap time. Nap time is now ended. Did you just wake up, buddy? You helping with the dishes? Are you helping Mimi?
There's one more one.
Yeah, there is. I used two of the measuring spoons.
I can find.
There it is.
What kind of tape is on it?
It says half a teaspoon. Oh, I have the cutest dish dryers and washers around. I've got all my jars filled up with the vegetables first, and now I'm just topping it up with the liquid. These also need an inch head space. Like I said, it's always loud around here. Got all my jars filled, the rims wiped with some vinegar, the lids on, and load them up.
Oh, the black thing.
So
I'll go with your hand.
I'm going to have to layer these ones. And since I have a little bit of chicken broth left, I'm going to fill a few more jars with chicken broth. Got my jars in now. I've got to just get the rest of the chicken broth jarred up, and then we'll get the canner on. And in the meantime, my daughter's been making some granola. Looks good. She's shy. She not like her mama. This is a paleo granola, so there's no oats in this. It's all nuts and seeds, honey, and what else? Cinnamon. You want to try the granola?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good.
Very yummy.
Did you get a pecan?
I love the pecans.
Did Mia make good? Yummy, yummy granola? I think so too. Gotta package it up. It's almost coffee. Gotta do this for 75 minutes. It's loud and it drives nearly batty. But having food come out of it at the end, it's all worth it. I don't know if you can hear me or not. That thing is so loud. I'm on the final recipe of the canning today. It's really loud, I'm sorry. We're making some baked beans. So basically, they're like a pork and bean, but they don't have any nightshades, so they're safe for everyone in our family to eat, which is a bonus. I've got my bacon all ready to go. Put that in the bottom of the jars. When the beans, they have to just come to a boil. They've been soaked, they've been rinsed. Put water on top of them. We're bringing them to a boil. We're gonna save the liquid and mix that with this molasses, sugar, spice mixture here. And that's gonna get poured over top of the beans in the jars. And then supper. It's nearly supper time. So we're gonna get Friar John. That's the name of our air fryer. We're gonna get Friar John to make us some hash browns.
What was that?
It's Friar John. It's about to get real loud in here. We're gonna have that with chili. And then it's always about all the food here. Got a really exciting thing to show you. I got this in the mail. I'm in a couple Facebook groups, canning Facebook groups, and everyone says the older cookbooks have more recipes, and I found my favorite pickle recipe from when I was a child. It's in here, icicle pickles. I could eat those by the quart when I was a kid. They take 14 days to make, so whether or not I make some is another question, but they're in here, and lots of great information that you don't find in some of the newer books. They've got some venison recipes. It's a freezing and canning cookbook, but they also cover things like breads and desserts, how to cure a ham, how to make a country ham, or what is it called? They've got all kinds of chutneys and pickles and ketchup and everything you could possibly want to can. It's like in here. I'm really excited because this is a vintage book and there are way more recipes in here than in the newer books. They're not tested by the USDA, so it's used with caution, but I'm excited anyway. I can't wait to try these out. Just turned off the pot. It's 20 to 10. I'm just gonna let the temperature come down. So far, this is what we've got. So yeah, we did it. We canned 3 different meals and we made some granola, we made dinner, we made a lot of food, it seems like, but we did it. And I'm tired. I'm gonna let that pot stop jiggling. It's starting to slow down. And then off to bed for me. And tomorrow it's supposed to be nicer than it's been the last couple of days. It's rained for like 3 days straight. So tomorrow we're gonna be out in the garden and seeing what's come up and see what surprises are there for me and how many weeds are there too. So I'm gonna thank you guys for cooking along with me today. If you want any of the recipes, I will share a link to the books that I used in the description box below. And we are so excited that you've been here. And if you want more canning videos, or if you want me to give you specific instructions on how to do any of these individual recipes, just let me know in the comments below. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Good night.